rights on the larger lots. An equation was presented that starts off with acres and ends up with cubic feet. And I think most of the people that looked at it, their eyes glazed over. So I did a spreadsheet to see exactly what we get with the equations. Basically, from 1 to 10 acres, if you're 100% covered in concrete, you get 4% detention pond. That's the size you get. If it's from 10 to 50, you're lucky, you get 7.5%. In the city of Houston, the 100-year floodplain gets larger every year, and I've talked to you about that before. But the definition of the FEMA 100-year floodplain is the water that comes out of the bayous and comes out of the drainage ditches. It doesn't account for the water that can't get into the ditches. In my neighborhood, there was a study done. It's a two-dimensional modeling of the 100-year floodplain, and it's only this area inside the red lines here. You'll see that over 50% of the neighborhoods are in the real 100-year floodplain, not the one that FEMA talks about, the real 100-year floodplain. This is indicative of the entire city. We're sitting on a time bomb, folks, and we're not solving this problem. The mayor was concerned we're holding her hostage for Chapter 9. Absolutely. I'd hold her hostage all day to try to get this problem fixed. Right now, we mitigate for 50% of the runoff. 50%, if they follow the rules, 50% of the runoff. So now we're saying 4% is okay. Well, it's not okay. My house is going to be flooded, and most of my neighbors, in fact, all of my neighbors, will be flooded based on this drawing. We don't use a two-dimensional flow analysis in public works at the City of Houston. We need to. If we did, we would find out that we're sitting on something much worse than Katrina. Much worse. Already FEMA is starting to understand. They're interviewing people that flooded in 2009 in our neighborhood. And I'm betting that FEMA stops using this outdated mode of 100-year floodplain and puts us all in a 100-year floodplain. I'm betting they will. And they ought to, because that's where we belong. So, I hear somebody snickering back there. I can almost bet you that's a developer. Am I right? And this concerns me.
Mr. Brown, one moment. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you. If you could finish your...
Well, I think that pretty much covered it. Well, I do have one point that I want to make, and that is that in our neighborhood, we have a 44-acre detention pond that's going to cost $26 million to put in. If we consider a sub-regional detention pond, which Councilmember Costello offered as a way to solve this problem, let's say that we take a 100-year event, which is somewhere between 13 and 19 inches, depending on what part of the city you live in. And you say, okay, I need a detention pond that's going to hold that 100-year event. Well, let's only look at a square mile. That's 640 acres. That's over 640 acre feet you've got to put in a detention pond. That's a pretty good sized pond. Let's put it in and let's use the numbers from the 44 acre foot detention pond, $26 million. That's way high. I'll cut that in half, $13 million. So 640 acre foot detention pond will cost $180 million. The city of Houston is 600 square miles. That's 640 acre foot detention ponds. That's $114 billion. I don't think that regional detention ponds are ever going to happen in the city. To give you an idea, the developer fee is $1.5 million per year. It'll take 125 years to pay for one sub-regional detention pond if these numbers are anywhere near correct.
Thank you. Councilmember Penny.
Thank you very much for bringing this information to our attention. I'm not sure that Public Works had the information that was gathered by the TUR 17 hydrological study, and so Councilmember Brown and I have worked on getting that information.
I heard that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think that you know, your area is not rated very highly on the need list right now, and so we wanted to be sure to get all that information in, and hopefully that will be the basis for improving the storm sewers out there, which won't resolve larger issue that you just talked about, but which I think will provide some substantial relief for the kind of flooding you've had in the past.
Right. Thank you, Councilmember Pennington. We also went through the LEN data, and we found that there were many homes that didn't report, primarily because they were afraid of what reporting meant. And so we've added a lot of those, and so it's way more than what you presented to Public Works.
Well, good, I think we ought to get that information in. I'll be glad to work with you. Thank you.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, it's unfortunate, one of the flaws of the process is that the need-based is also based on input, and if input's not there, the need's not categorized correctly. We have an area where all the homes flooded, which is on the lowest need basis, which is a good example of how the system needs to be double-checked. So thank you for bringing that up.